So this lady dies, and she goes flying up through the skies and the clouds and finds herself at the pearly gates. And there's a man sitting at a big towery desk, and she says, "Is this heaven? Did I make it to heaven?" The man says, "Well, I'm St. Peter, and you're here at the gates of heaven. We're glad you're here because we know you've had a rough life and troubling marriage, kind of married to a bum and a loser, and you've struggled, but you've been a good woman, and you're here with the pearly gates, and it's my pleasure to let you into heaven if you can pass one simple test." And the lady says, "Wow, what is it?" He says, "You just need to spell a word for me." She says, "Oh, okay, I'll give it a try." He says, "Here's your word. If you can spell it correctly, you're in heaven." He says, "I want you to spell the word love." And she bows her head and smiles and says, Love. That's right. You're in. You're in heaven. She says, "Oh, that's great." He says, "But before you go through the pearly gates, can you do me a favor? Can you sit here at the desk for just a minute? I need to take a restroom break." And she says, "Well, yeah, gee, sure, I'll do that. But what if somebody comes along? What do I do?" He says, "Oh, no, it's no problem. Everybody gets in. You just they have to pass a little test like you did. So just do the same thing if somebody comes along." She says, "Oh, all right, I'll try that." So she climbs up and sits at the desk, and she's sitting there for a minute, and there's angels flying around, and she sees it all very interesting, everything she's seeing, and suddenly a man floats up and comes to the gate, and holy cow, it's her husband, that miserable bum that she was married to for so many years. And she says, "What are you doing here? What happened?" He says, "Oh man, I went to your funeral. I was so upset. I was driving home. I wasn't paying attention. I was in a car crash, and now here I am." And he looks around and he says, "Is this heaven?" And she says, "Not yet." He says, "It isn't yet?" He says, "No, you have to pass a test." He says, "I do? I have to pass a test to get into heaven?" She says, "Yeah, everybody does. You have to pass a test to get into heaven." He says, "What's the test?" She says, "You have to spell a word." He says, "I do? What word do I have to spell?" And she looks at him for a second. She says, "Okay, to get into heaven, you have to spell this word, Czechoslovakia." So here I am making another video from the wife's sewing room. Uh, Today is kind of a special day. I received something wonderful in the mail. Surprise, there it was. I guess I ordered it. I'm officially a fountain pen collector, and I wanted to do this unboxing here today for a very special pen. Now, when I'm looking for pens, I've been in the pen stores, I've been on the websites, I see a lot of pens, I see the guy saying, "Oh, this is a really great pen, it's got a gold nib, it's really wonderful, it's really great." And I look at them and I think, yeah, that looks like a great pen, they're really great. But before I'm motivated to go out and buy something, especially when you're collecting and you're not going to use everything that you're collecting every single day, man, I've really got to find something about a product, in this case fountain pens that I'm collecting, that makes me say, wow, I really want to have that. So as I've been looking at pens, there's a pen that stands out to me. It's really made an impact on me. That's the Retro 51 pens. I love a lot of the Retro 51s. The one that really stands out to me is the Tornado Lincoln. And I saw that, I thought, wow, that's really beautiful, I gotta have it. So here's what happened. So I come home and there's this box in the mailbox. Don't you love Amazon? Man, the internet and Amazon, it's just the mail people that bring you these wonderful packages. It's just like your birthday. Every day that you do this. Anyway, so here comes this package, and I open it up, and zingo! There's this tubular cylindrical box, okay? And this is so dang cool. This is the kind of packaging, the kind of thing that just really gets me. That is really cool. So let's take a look at where we open this farther. So there's the box. There's what came actually, well, when I pulled it out of the UPS box. Now watch this. Watch this. You're going to love it. You pull the little thing off. Oh, it's got some literature. Oh, look at that. So cool. Retro 51. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. And it's got like, oh, hey, this is a fountain pen kind of information in it, you know. Talks about 1997, Retro 1951 introduced a pen named the Tornado in 3 colors. And it talks about that. And it talks about how pens work, because there's, you know, they have rollerball and things like that. And then they have information on how to work a fountain pen. And it's really, working a fountain pen is not so much like driving a stick shift, but I appreciate the information anyway. So here it is. Oh, wow. Look at that. It's just so beautiful. And one thing I'm doing with this pen that I could probably do with a lot of the pens I own is that, now listen to this. It's got a little jingle jangle to it because I'm keeping the spare cartridge inside the barrel. But look at that. It's just shiny. And it's got that copper look to it. I don't think it's a copper pen, but it's got that copper brushed metal look to it. And I love that. Beautiful nib. Ooh, it's got some mugre on it. Okay. Don't want that. It's got this lovely nib. And other videos, I just copycatting, say that it posts securely. I think it posts lovely. And I think it feels great in my hand. It does post securely, and it writes beautifully. Now, I ordered a fine nib, and I see the F on the nib that says fine. It writes like a medium, I think, in some of my other medium nibs. It's wet, generous. It's a nice pen. Now, as far as how much it weighs and how long it is, my thoughts for you would be buy one for yourself and use a tape measure and find out, and a little scale, and you can find out how much it weighs and how long it is, and if that's important to you. That kind of stuff. I mean, I like other videos where they compare it in length to pens that I know, and that's great, but everybody else is doing that, so what I want to do is just show you what a spectacularly beautiful pen this is. This is the kind of thing that catches my eye and says, "Ooh, gosh, I'd like to have something like that." Now, let's show it to you in action. This is my really beautiful Paper Blanks goatskin journal. This is my main journal, which I love so much. Beautiful paper, good for fountain pen writing. I'm keeping my journal so that my grandchildren one day, if they care, will read it. And besides having a fountain pen, by the way, and a nice journal, I'm writing whatever I want. I'm writing whatever comes to mind. I don't care if it's embarrassing. I'll probably be dead before anybody opens this up to read it. So I don't censor myself at all when I write. I want whoever, if I'm going to invest in a fountain pen like this and a nice journal and spend time writing, I'm going to say exactly what's on my mind. And so if someday somebody reads it and says, "Oh my gosh, that old fart used to think like that," yeah, pretty much. So that's how I feel about it. So let's open this up. Let's see. To the next entry page. Okay, let's try this. So we've got 6/8/2019, Saturday. My Retro 51 Tornado Lincoln arrived in the mail. Now it really writes smoothly. I mean, it feels really nice to write with. This will be a daily pen for me. I will use this daily. Let's get gushy. I love this pen. another step on my journey. What's my journey? Well, if you watch any of my other videos, I used to be left-handed. If you'll notice, this is my right hand. My handwriting was so terrible, I didn't write anything with a pen. Everything was on the computer. I typed everything, never sent anybody anything. And my kids would say, write me a letter with your hand because I want to have, a record of your handwriting. Well, my handwriting looks like chicken poop, I think is the right way to put it. So I just decided after Christmas, because I had seen these beautiful fountain pens on the internet and in stores, I thought, I'm going to buy one just to have it. And then that inspired me to learn to write. And so I started writing with my right hand and watching videos about penmanship. And here I go. Writing so that you can read it. I'm looking for pen pals, somebody to write letters. I've got some nice stationery. If you'd like to be my pen pal, please leave a message and I'll private message you and send you my address and we can write letters back and forth. That's another reason to use a fountain pen. It's a great reason. We should do it. And listen to that. There's that other cartridge. So when this cartridge goes dry, I'll have one right in the barrel and I can have a new one. I'm learning so much. Oh crap, that looked terrible. So we scratch it out. Much. Still can't read it very well. Slow down a little bit. That's one of the things I've learned that's key. We slow down so it looks better. Keep it slow and nice. So, wow, beautiful. And I'll write some personal things here that is none of your business. And but this is my present today. Today is so thrilling. I have this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Retro 51 Tornado Lincoln. And it's beautiful little box. It screws on. There's been some people say how they're not sure how they feel about the threads on the cap. And I concur. I don't want to cross thread it. But, oh, you know what? I'm going to keep it on my desk in this fancy little container. And I may not keep the little propaganda that comes with it. I might though. And that's the Retro 51 Tornado Lincoln that I got in the mail today. The latest in my collection of fantastically fun fountain pens. Let me know what you think.